Hey folks. So one last note about the end of school year in Schoology. While all courses are archived and you can retrieve anything from them, you might want to save some of that information in your resources before that happens. Why would I want to do that? Well, it may be easier to pull out that assessment that took me time to make that I want to make sure that I can find next year now when our memory is fresh, as opposed to going through that entire archive next year. Remember that if it's an item that's like a Google slide, then that is saved in Google currently. So you won't have to save that as a resource. In fact, even if you save the page that the slideshow was in as a resource, it's still connected to Google, so you'd still have to have it there anyhow. Items made in Schoology, though, like an assessment or a specific page or discussion board, could certainly be saved into resources. And here's how you do that. First, I'd go to resources. And I'd recommend making a collection, which is just a big folder box kind of for each of my courses. You'll notice that when I come to my resources, it starts me at my personal collections, but you're probably used to seeing this when you go to a group where you might share information with your grade level or even pull things from, say, the asynchronous work that elementary academics puts in that group. I'm going to skip the group part for now and just deal with my personal stuff. So I'm going to click on this little collection icon with a little green plus beside it. It looks like a big paper file box, right? I simply type in the name. I'm going to type in EOY right now. I recommend doing that for each course. That way it's easier to find next year. So once I do that, I'm going to go to my courses. I'm going to find that stuff that I really want to save because it took me a long time to make it. Remember, I can come to materials and I can filter by maybe assessments because I know I made just a bunch of those and they took me some time to figure out. So right here it is. I'm just going to come to the gear at the end of that title block. And instead of hitting copy to course, because I'm going the other direction now, I'm simply going to hit save to resources. And when I do that, it pops up collections and folders. Kind of sounds funny, but a collection is a group of folders. It's essentially a big folder. So I'm going to click on ELA that I just made. And I'm going to hit save copy to move it in there. It's important to note that it does say save copy because that means that even if your students are working on this assessment right now in class or maybe this week, it's not going to hurt anything they're doing. It's just going to save a copy for you for next year. Now you'll see that I skipped folder, but if I wanted to have folders in my collection, say for each unit or each standard or topic, something to make it easier to find next year, then I certainly could. And even if I did all this in my personal resources, I just want to note that in my resources, my personal items are also shareable with other folks. So when I come into one of my collections, I can share that collection with other people just like I can in Google Drive. So it's really cool that I can do that without having to belong to the same group as the people I might share with, maybe a peer at another school or something of that sort. That's how to take care of your resources of your elements in Schoology as they begin to archive. Thanks.